But something tells me that this book chapter that involves that clown character is going to be a possibly scary story from The Odd Ones Out that involves clowns. Just look at him. You see how he has that dark, sinister smile that he's about to do something very evil? I don't know what it is about that clown-looking character, but I don't trust him or any clown in general. We are back in action, my friends. I am so glad to see you back. It looks like it's happening again, you guys. The Odd Ones Out is coming out with another book. So before I say anything else, I have to get one thing out of the way real quick. If you're here watching this video right now and you have a copy of The Odd Ones Out first book in your house, give me a hell yeah. Now, if you know that The Odd Ones Out is coming out with a second book and you plan on buying that book too, give me a hell yeah. I had a feeling that's what you were going to say, and you know what else I had a feeling of? I also had a feeling a long time ago that The Odd Ones Out was going to come out with another book. And it's not because I'm psychic or have a sixth sense like Spider-Man. I had that feeling because as a person who listens to the radio for music when I'm riding in a car, I can tell you what happens after a really popular song hits the radio waves. Radio DJs know how to pump up the listeners with their unlimited energy and that radio voice of theirs. Alright everyone, get ready for that really hot song that everyone wants to hear so bad, but this time we're doing it a little different because we got that remix. But in this case with The Odd Ones Out, since we're talking about a book and not music, it's all about that sequel. I have a copy of the first book from The Odd Ones Out. I actually got that book as a gift, which was pretty sweet because free gifts are always the best gifts. I watched The Odd Ones Out and all of his videos, and I know what his voice sounds like. I don't know if this just happened to me, but when I was reading his book, I could imagine The Odd Ones Out saying everything that I was reading. So hearing his voice as I was reading his first book gave me a really cool idea. Now that a second book is coming out, if we're lucky, and I mean real lucky, we all just might see an audio book come out for it one day. Because reading his new book is going to be nice, but imagine getting to listen to his new book being read to you by the man himself, The Odd Ones Out. I think it's pretty cool that 1,000 copies are going to be signed by The Odd Ones Out for people who buy his new book from his website. Just think about that real quick. 1,000 books are going to be autographed by The Odd Ones Out. How long does something like that take to finish for one person to autograph 1,000 books? Because I know my hand would be cramping up like crazy if I had to write my name 1,000 times over and over again. This sounds like one of those math questions that you get for homework where you have to calculate how long something would take to finish. So let's put my math skills to the test and let's do some calculations over here. I literally took a piece of paper and pen and actually timed how long it took for me to write out the name, The Odd Ones Out. Since I was writing neatly, I clocked myself in at 5 seconds. Now we have to factor in how much time it takes to open and close a book, so let's just add another 5 more seconds to the clock, because the number 10 is way easier to calculate with and sounds like a really official number to me. Just take a look at the guys at WatchMojo.com. They know how to make any of their videos sound really official. But let's get back to this book signing calculation question. So if it takes 10 seconds to sign one book and we have 1,000 books that needs to be signed, 6 books equals 1 minute, and then divide that by 1,000. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but we're just gonna say that it took a really long time for The Odd Ones Out to sign 1,000 books. But I'll tell you what though, if I had to sign my name 1,000 times, my handwriting would be getting sloppier and sloppier after each book I signed. There would be a huge difference between the first copy I signed and that 1,000th copy I signed. I will leave all that book signing stuff for The Odd Ones Out because he's the professional here, not me. I'm happy to say that the book description on The Odd Ones Out website did a fantastic job on giving everyone a small sample of it. I don't know if it's just me, but reading the description made me feel like I was reading a movie trailer for a little bit. Maybe it's because on how I was reading it, but let me read you this one part and you tell me if this sounds like a future action movie or not. James Rallison has always felt like he was on the outside looking in. Maybe it's how I'm reading it, but doesn't that sound like an action movie to you? The only thing missing to make this action movie into a cop movie is to call The Odd Ones Out Detective James Rallison. But let's read one more sentence because that first sentence was pretty good. His YouTube videos are all about his odd behavior. No one knew who he was, but he knew them. This summer, James Rallison becomes The Odd Ones Out. Now that sounds like a sick action movie if you ask me. I would totally watch that movie. But for real though, I'm excited to see this all new and never before seen content from The Odd Ones Out. I know I'm excited, and a whole lot of other people are excited to see what The Odd Ones Out has cooked up for us in this new book of his. And the front cover of this new book from The Odd Ones Out has a lot of action going on that has my attention. The first thing that my eyes noticed was that clown looking character. I don't know what it is about clowns, but clowns are very scary looking and they are never fun to be around every time I watch a movie. But something tells me that this book chapter that involves that clown character is going to be a possibly scary story from The Odd Ones Out that involves clowns. Just look at him. You see how he has that dark, sinister smile that he's about to do something very evil? I don't know what it is about that clown looking character, but I don't trust him or any clown in general. Clowns are scary looking, but they are very terrifying when they just pop up out of nowhere and surprise you. I don't know what that clown is up to, but I got my eyes on him. But other than that scary looking character, I think the rest of this book has nothing else that we should worry about. Okay, wait a second. Why is there a giant looking spider on top of that pie of pizza? So not only do we have clowns in this book, but we also have spiders? Two of my worst fears in the entire world are all in one book. Man, The Odd Ones Out is really lucky that I'm a big fan of his, because if it wasn't for him, I would never buy a book that has clowns and spiders in it. I'm so confused on why that spider is sitting on top of that pizza and trying to camouflage itself as a pizza topping, because I can clearly see it. I'm not a big fan of spiders because they are pretty scary looking. Has anyone seen Lucas the Spider on YouTube? Everyone says that he looks so cute and is so harmless. Yeah, people say that for now when Lucas the Spider is still tiny and little. But let's see what everyone thinks of Lucas the Spider when he's all grown up and is a giant looking spider now. I'm buying a flamethrower just in case, because what if Lucas the Spider likes to eat chocolate chip marshmallows as a snack for lunch? So I'm not taking any chances here. But other than those two things, everything else on the front cover is perfectly fine with me. But the one picture that has my curiosity the most is that picture with the question mark wearing that fancy hat. The book chapter that has the question mark is definitely going to be an interesting one for sure, because I don't know what to expect. I already have the first book and I enjoyed reading it a lot, and I really am looking forward to buying this new book. One thing I'm curious to find out is if The Odd Ones Out plans on making one of his book chapters into a future video, because with the first book, some of the stories in his book were from his videos, but now that we're having a second book being made with never before seen content, will The Odd Ones Out make one of those book chapters into a future video is the question. But let me wrap this video up. Leave me a comment down below on which picture on the front cover of this new book are you most curious about. I'm curious about that question mark wearing that fancy hat, but what about you? But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. And if you want more, hit that subscribe button and I will see you all later.